Periscope. It has been like a week or so. Just wanted to jump in while I am driving. So welcome to everyone who joined my scope. I hope you have had an amazing week and amazing weekend thus far. Thanking and praising God for allowing us to see yet another day, yet another time, yet another moment in life in the earth. But I wanted to jump on because I want to talk about the importance of sharing your story and the importance of continually speaking your testament and your testimony of how God has brought you from out of something into something, because you never understand or you never know how you can help someone else. And for those who never been on my scope before, my name is Latoya L. Wallace. I am an author, a speaker, a teacher. I am a prophet. I am under the covering of Apostle Hill out of Consuming Fire Kingdom Ministries, here located in Chicago, Illinois. My current book, or my first book, is The Dark Side That Birthed My Worship. And it talks about me, one who has vitiligo, and how for years I was in a dark place growing up with it. And from there, God found me, and God rescued me, and God freed me to be able to be comfortable in who I am, who He has created me to be. So my book shares different encounters, and it talks about different things that I endured while mentally battling the instability with vitiligo. And of course, if you don't know what vitiligo is, it is a skin condition where it takes the melanin out of your skin and leaves you with white patches. And so, as you see me now, predominantly my entire body is my pigment. I have lost pigment in my entire body. But I was born dark. I was born a dark chocolate little girl. And so I was diagnosed when I was 12, and from grammar school up until this very moment, I have been living with this condition. So that's what my book is about. It shares different encounters, but it also talks about how God found me in that place, how I built a relationship, how my worship and my devotion and my lifestyle living for God came from that place of darkness, and how even in suicidal attempts, it did not take me out. God pulled me from that because of the purpose and the plan that He had. But I wanted to get on because it's important that we share our story. It's important that we tell our testimony. It's important that we continuously tell our testimony, continuously tell our story, because you never know who you inspire. You never know who you can set free from a place that they're at. You never know how your story and the words that come out of your mouth can encourage, uplift, build, set someone else free. And yesterday I was at an event, and in this event, it was about honoring kings, black kings. It was about honoring kings. And it was a lot of influential males, black males, that have made a difference in their community, have made a difference in their society. And one of the males that was honored, he got up and he talked about how he came from a place of being homeless, literally living on Wacker Drive downtown. Anyone from Chicago, Illinois knows that is the place where homeless reside at. And so he talked about how he came from that place, how he gave 20 years to the system, the federal system, due to mistakes that he made in his younger years. He even gave a testament how he was left for dead for three times. He was left for dead, and they had to reconstruct his entire jaw because of how broken it was. Such a powerful testimony. But the thing about it, he shared his testimony, and he talked about how God pulled him from that place of suicide and that dark place and everything that he'd been through to where now he's an entrepreneur. Now he has his own business. But one of the things that he do is give back to the community by feeding and clothing the homeless. The very place where he lived for years, he went back to that place, and he now gives and serves to the community. And he has a business and things of that nature. But it was just amazing to me to sit there and just listen to the different testaments that these young men had and a place that they came from, and how they are grateful to God for them being able to now have a platform to change someone else's lives through their testimony and through their story. And even me, I'll serve there as a vendor. But the different people who came to me and sat and talked with me just sharing my story in regards to vitiligo, one of the ladies I shared it with, she told me even then how that helped her. And it was some things that I said to her that she even felt in that moment that was able to give her different perspective and give her a different mindset of the things that she's even going through and the things that she's even facing. So it's so important for us to share our story. It's so important for us to talk about these things that, you know, I came from a place where things you talk about, what goes on in the house stays in the house. The things that you don't speak on, you know, I came from a place where emotions and being able to talk and being able to communicate about things that you're battling with or things that you're dealing with, you keep it to yourself. You don't talk about it. You don't express it. I came from a place where you don't express those type of emotions or express those type of feelings. And because I came from that place, I ultimately, everything that I battled and everything I dealt with, no one actually knew about it. I broke the silence of me talking about vitiligo over 30 years. 30 years of me never talking about it. I suppressed it to where in my mind it never existed. This is who I am. But all the things that I battled, all the things that I dealt with, that thing was still holding bondage to me inside. And by God and His Holy Spirit for leading me to even open my mouth and talk about it, brought healing, deliverance, and freedom for myself from things that has been in me for years that I never thought. And I never realized it because before anyone asked me about vitiligo, anyone asked what happened to your skin, why you look like that, I would go to an emotional state. And depending on who it was and depending on what they said, I would be angry. I would respond in a place of offense. Or I would be emotional because you may be you're touching a place that I never was set free from. So the emotions from that is causing me to not even want to talk about it or even speak about it, right? But after that, God allowed the freedom and set me free from that to where now, like I said, the voice that I have and a platform that God has given me to be able to speak on behalf of others who will not speak about it. Because I was once in that place where I would not talk about it or anything. So it's important for us to share our story, because what we do, how we live, and the way we are made up and created is not for us. It's for someone else. It's for who God has assigned you to. It's for who God has placed into your life for you to be there for. Like, we're here servants for someone else. We're here to serve someone else in whatever capacity that God leads us to. And a part of that is our story. The part of that is the thing that God has brought us out of. A part of that is the thing that God has set us free from. But if we don't talk about it, not only are we holding ourselves to bondage, but we also not allowing that next person, when they go through that situation or if they've been through that situation, to be set free. So we got to share our story. We got to tell our testament. And there's a lot of times we're good at talking about the goodness of God and the favor that He has shown on our lives, how He has blessed us and how He has shown favor in materialistic things. But we never talk about how He set us free from the mental instability of suicide or the mental instability of depression or rejection or abandonment or bitterness and resentment. How we was able to forgive someone who ultimately hurt us, who ultimately broke us to the point where we didn't want to even be faced with that person or deal with that person or be around that person. Those things we don't talk about, but those are the very things that we need to talk about so we can set someone else free in their own mental instability and their own mental battle. Because that's the area that the enemy is choosing. That's the area, if the enemy can get to your mind, if he can get to your heart, then he got your emotions. If he can get to the weakest area, which is that, then he can be the driving force in that very thing. So that's the thing that we have to share our story about. That's the thing that we have to talk about, how God brought us out of those things, in addition to the favor, in addition to the blessings that God has given us and provided for us in this walk. But those things right there is what set people free. Those things right there is what reaches the heart. When a person is dealing with bitterness and resentment and unforgiveness, you sharing your testimony on your story on how you walked, how you were set free from the bondage of bitterness, the bondage of unforgiveness. When you set free from those different things, that's the very thing that can help somebody else how to get past that. how they can get past of hatred and learn how to love again, how to get past unforgiveness and learn how to forgive and not be offended, and be able to come around that person not feeling, offended or guarded or defensive because of that person is in their presence, or not feeling like they can't be in their presence. Like the Bible tells us to pray for those that despitefully use you, right? It says to pray for those. So we get to a place where we don't even want to pray for somebody. But you sharing your story, or someone sharing their story of how they were able to, in everything that person did to them, no matter how horrific it was, for them to be able to get past that and be set free from that, and how God brought them out of that very thing, that testimony right there is what can set someone else free on how to be able to walk in forgiveness. That seed being planted into that person's heart can plant a seed into them. And remember, one planet, one water, and the God does the harvest. So just planting that seed. So share your story. Share your story. Me just sharing my story and be able to even talk about it yesterday to different people not only caused them to be able to purchase the book, to be able to read the story, because now they're more interested. Now they want to understand. Now they want to know the how. And now they want to know the why, right? But also being able to plant that seed into them, into whatever darkness that they're facing, whatever darkness that they're dealing with, whether it's grieving and mourning. It comes in so many different aspects. It's not just the fact of someone, who passes away. It can come in so many different other avenues of it. But just sharing that, whatever darkness that a person is facing, and they're going further and further in the darkness, sharing my testimony and sharing my story can allow enlightenment and inspiration and encouragement to them and the how-to come from that place. And God being amplified on that very thing would allow him to enter into their heart, right? So share your story, share your testament. Share your story, share your testament. To learn more about me and who I am and what I do, please go to my website, www.latoyalwallace.com, www.latoyalwallace.com. There you can find out more about me. You can find out more about my story. You can find more about who I am, who God has brought me from. And you can also see the pictures of transition that I even went through. You can follow me on Instagram as well. Wallace _ is her name. You can find me there. And there you'll see the different transitions and the different things. And you'll see my testament in regards to how God has brought me from a place of darkness, out of darkness, to a place of worship in him. And so I pray that you be blessed on this Sunday. I pray that whatever it is that God has for you through his word, that you receive it on this Sunday, and that you enjoy the rest of it, whatever you're facing, whatever situation you're in. I pray that God give you peace that surpasses all of your understanding. His peace that surpasses all of your understanding, clarity, wisdom, and knowledge in all of it. Until I tap in next time, I pray that even when you go on my website, that you sign up, subscribe to my email list. That way you can get updates. And also purchase the book. If you know someone who has vitiligo, purchase a book. Allow it to be a blessing to them. Because you never, when I say you don't know what an instability or a mental battle that this can be for someone in just that state, it is very, very hard. It's very, very hard. If you know someone that has a child that has vitiligo, share it with them. Be a blessing to them. Share the website with them. Share my handles, my social media handles with them. Allow them to reach out. Yeah. So until next time, I am at my destination. I will chat with you all later.